Hello everyone, it's Phil, and today we're going to be talking about some of the cool portable projectors that Phil had the opportunity to review in the last few months. So let's take a look. Hello everyone, it's Phil Jones, and joining me is Phil Boyle. And today
Hi,
we're here
everybody.
to talk about great portable projectors. So Phil, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about this.
So Phil, let's start with the two X-Ming units that you reviewed. So why don't you tell me some things about them?
So I reviewed the X-Ming episode 1 and I reviewed the X-Ming page 1.
So where did you get the projectors from, Phil, by the way?
These projectors came from Formovie. They were loaned to us for this review. And when we're finished with them, they will go back to the manufacturer. We don't keep them. And that way we can review them. All the opinions you hear are our opinions, and they're honest and our impressions of the product.
And of course, if you're interested in purchasing any of the projectors that we talk about in either our reviews or articles, we always appreciate it if you utilize one of the affiliate links found in the description of the video or in the article, because we get paid a small commission at no cost to you, which helps us actually produce more content like this.
And X-Ming is a division of Formovie. We've reviewed lots of Formovie projectors, but these X-Mings tend to be their portable projectors. And these both are impressive for what they have to offer. There's several things that are different about them up front. First off, they're both LCD imagers, which is not something that you see so much. Normally, portable projectors are very small Pico DLP projectors, but LCD imagers have come a really long way, and they're making their way into the portable projector market in a big way, not just in this brand.
I got a question for you before we leave the LCD thing, because normally we talk about 3 LCD. You know, you have an LCD for your red, green, and blue. This is one LCD that the light source goes through. So it's a base. Now, if you look at a DLP is a single chip too. But it has rainbow effect. A lot of people say they're sensitive to rainbow effect. I don't think that's an issue with a LCD projector, correct?
It is not an issue with LCD projectors. And actually LCD, because it's been around for such a long time, even though DLP is very mature, is a relatively affordable technology. And they're squeezing a lot out of it.
Yeah. So basically it's a think of it as a little LCD TV that you're shining light through to make it bigger, right? Versus reflecting a color wheel or some sort of showing red and green and then blue, which is where you see your rainbow effect. That's limitation to 3 LCD, I believe, is you cannot get extremely bright with a 3 LCD because you're going through the imager and the heat and everything else. So of course, little DLP can be brighter, but you're got to deal with rainbow effects and other things. All right, so it's it's an LCD. All right.
It is an LCD, not 3 LCD. It is an LCD.
Okay, LCD. So the difference, what are the main differences between the two? You're about to get into that, right?
Really, it comes down to size and brightness. This is the page 1. The episode 1, which is the smaller one and the less bright one, it's 150 lumens, ANSI lumens, whereas this is 300 ANSI lumens. It's about, from about here, I don't know, I guess it's about like 25% smaller, right? But everything else about it is the same. And both of these projectors, they do remarkably well for the brightness numbers that they have for 150 and for 300. You're not going to be using this in a brightly lit space, but in a light controlled space. So if you want to put this in a bedroom or your kid's room, you want to, if you got a small living room, if you're living in a European or Japanese or New York or San Francisco apartment, these are great little solutions.
Yeah. Now I give you these big screen sizes. You probably wouldn't exceed 100, but it's going to be kind of dull looking. Probably 70, 60, 70 inches is probably a more realistic looking image for for the smaller guy, right?
Yeah.
The episode.
These are nice little, replacement televisions, like I said, for the bedroom, for the kids' room. And yeah, you're not going to be projecting giant. Well, you can project a giant image, but the problem is that with the limited brightness, it's going to be a very dim image. In my testing, I think I found for the big one, for the 300 ANSI lumen one, optimal size, max. I didn't want to go any bigger than 80 inches. But that's still a pretty big
Yeah,
image.
considering it's a lot easier to take this little guy than an 80-inch TV and put it in the kids' room, or take it camping, or take it to a military barracks or something like that.
The thing that I found most exciting about these projectors, because they're really a nice value. I think the 300 ANSI lumen one is like $499 MSRP. Probably ends up selling it at retail for a little bit less. These companies always have sales going on. The big thing that gets me excited about these portable projectors is they are fully integrated with Google TV OS. Right? This is something that normally we see in home theater projectors, in living room projectors, ultra short throw projectors, right? Portable projectors, for the most part, are still kind of a hodgepodge of, well, it's based in Android, but it's our custom OS. And it's got all these layers. If I want to do apps, I go in, it has this look because it's a different piece of software for doing apps. But if I want to go into the menus, it looks different and it functions different because it's a different piece of software. And they're just kind of gluing all these different layers together. But when you standardize on the front and on the rear end on an operating system from Google, Android, now it's Google TV, which is just the newer versions of Android, suddenly they become much more intuitive, much easier to use, much smoother to use. I think I was a little critical for the speed that there was a little bit of delay in the menus if you started pushing the button too fast. But regardless of that, their performance because of the Google TV is infinitely better than most of the portable projectors that I review.
Portable projectors, you got to have smarts in them if you really want it to be truly portable, right? Because you're not going to carry around a Blu-ray player or a Roku or Apple TV that's, you want it all to be built in. So being able to, Google TV means you get access to the hard ones, like sometimes Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and HBO Max, or now it's just called Max, right? So you just basically, if you have use your smartphone as a hotspot, when you're camping, and as long as you have power, you could pretty much use this little guy anywhere. Or if you want to carry it from room to room, grab the projector, grab the power cord, and you walk over and then you plug it into the wall and you're good to go. No battery in this, correct? There's no batteries in these, right?
These are transportable, not really portable. You can move them from place to place, but no battery options.
So we always say, basically, if you look at portable projectors, there's transportable. It's small enough to move around, right? Then I like to say, then we start getting into something that can be moved around that has smart features. Adds another level of portability, right? And then the ultimate in portability would be small enough to move around, and it has smart features, and it has a battery. So that would be the ultimate in portability. So this is 2 of the 3.
Right.
And you kind of like, what do you have there, Phil?
So this is actually one of the other nice things that Formovie did with the X-Ming series. They come with these carrying cases. It's part of it. So everything fits in it that you need, your power brick, your cables, and the projector. And the other X-Ming projector has this too. So it's
squeaky.
Sorry. So the other one has this too. So it's nice because I've got something to take it around in and keep it protected and keep all my stuff together. Here's the thing that I would say about this. I don't want to, whenever I do review a portable projector, and I do a lot of portable projectors, I usually find that, if I like the projector, I like its performance, it's in spite of the software, right? It seems like I'm always putting the caveat that, if you're unhappy with the speed of operation or the lack of the apps, like for example, they're making a big deal. I believe they're the first portable projector with a native Netflix application. Oh, the other thing I want to say real quick, related to Google TV, the apps work. Okay, I am, no offense to, I mean, there's reasons to buy other brands of projectors. We talked about built-in battery and stuff like that, but on most of these other brands, it's a crapshoot. You know, is every app that I install going to run? And the answer is no. No, they're not.
So also these little X-Ming projectors have things like autofocus and keystone correction, right?
Yeah, they've got autofocus, keystone correction, bump correction, obstacle avoidance. So they're really kind of the whole package when it comes to easy setup features.
Yeah. So basically take it out, point at a wall, and hopefully it'll do all the things that are needed to adjust the image. And I think when we were talking about this, a lot of it probably has to do because it's part of kind of the Google TV thing. So that's a program that most Google TV projectors that I have seen actually support. And I think you pointed that out too. It seems like when you see Google TV, you're starting to see these features.
It's either a component of the chip that Google TV is on, or it's just a chip that's been made available and it's getting more widely used.
Yeah. Yeah, but I will say the other thing too is it's got the capabilities, but they also have to put the sensor in. So you may be able to see, it's something that a Google TV projector could do,
right?
If you put the sensor, because it has to have one of those TOF sensors or whatever they call it.
And it does.
It does. So long as it's got the sensor, the capability is there. And most manufacturers say, well, if it's got the functionality, why wouldn't I spend a few dollars more to add the sensor to add this level of flexibility? And it's quite impressive that they're doing it on a projector that you'll often find, if you look at one of the episodes, for under like $200 or under $300, which is actually impressive. Yeah. So it seems like one of the biggest things about this sucker, if I was going to wrap it up, is the fact that the user interface is better than what you would normally be experiencing at these particular price points, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a massive thing.
They've got color management systems built into them.
It's
150 ANSI lumens with a color management system built into it.
Yeah, so that's hilarious. Now a couple move on. So we talked about the fact that it has good smart features. Let's talk about a few other things. So first thing, overall picture quality. We talked about how did it look?
Not bad.
How did it look?
It looked good. I'm used to the LCD imager projectors that I've reviewed in the past. They are very blue, right? Very blue, and not great color accuracy. Formovie did a really good job tuning these. They still lean more toward blue because they want to get every ounce of brightness out of them they can. But it's not offensive. It's not objectionable. There's a lot of warmth in the picture that these projectors create. This gets me excited for the next generation of these projectors from Formovie and Xming, right?
Okay, so one more thing. Sound. How is the sound?
The sound actually, again, really decent for a portable projector. Look, it's a small projector, but again, surprisingly, they've got stereo sound in them. The imaging isn't great. It's a small box, but it's better than the typical mono, the harsh mono that comes out of most portable projectors, where it's all sort of high end and can be distorted and get loud, but also that loudness comes at a price because of the low power. They've done a lot with the small amount of power that they have. So, it was nice.
So Phil, what are the prices of the two units, the Page 1 and the Episode 1?
So the smaller of the two projectors is $299 MSRP, and the larger, the Page 1, is $499 MSRP. However, they seem to always be on promo. So, check the website, and you're going to find that they're on sale. Usually it's around $100, give or take, off.
So, for example, if you check our description below, we will put in links so you can see it, and as well as the reviews have links that you can check with authorized dealers on how much they are, but normally you get a really good deal on one of these.
Oh, and the other thing I want to mention is they've got a 2-year warranty on them, right?
Oh.
So, most portable projectors are, regardless of what warranty they have, you're not going to ship it back to China. But these have a 2-year warranty on them, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah, they're nice packages. I have no problem recommending these for somebody who's looking for a good performing, easy to use portable projector.
Now let's talk about something that's a noticeable step up when you talk about a portable projector, right? And that is the Nebula Cosmo 4K SE. Man, that's a long name. So tell me a little bit about that projector.
So Nebula, it's an Anchor company, and Anchor is one of those brands that kind of drives the larger portable market, although they make smaller portable projectors too. And Nebula projectors, they're generally at a different level of portable projectors. So the Nebula Cosmo 4K SE is, to start with, it's a 4K portable projector. And that extra resolution is noticeable. It's a brighter projector. The projector is rated at 1800 ANSI lumens. It doesn't have a battery built in. It's like the Formovies. It's meant to be moved from space to space. But unlike their projectors that do have batteries built in, this is basically meant to be transportable, right?
Exactly. So there's a couple of nebulas. Yes, there's a couple of nebulas, and when this first came out, there was a couple of nebulas that kind of looked like the same thing,
right?
But one of them was around less or the same price. It had a battery built in. This one did not. But this one was like you said, noticeably brighter.
4K.
1800. Yeah, and it's 4K.
And brighter,
4K DLP. So we're talking 4K. It will just deliver it's not a native 4K, but it will deliver a 4K on-screen image using DLP XPR technology. So it's sharper picture. 1800 ANSI lumens is a lot. And there's no way you're going to get any kind of life, that much brightness if you're using a battery. The other thing too about it, Phil, was it's Google TV. And we've already just talked about the benefits of Google TV. So all of that
I said about the X-Ming
is in this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but brighter, more resolution. Now, the thing that really stood out is it's got kind of a unique light source in it, right? It's an LED blue laser phosphor. It's a hybrid. So why did they do that?
It enhances the colors, specifically colors like red. I believe it also helps with the contrast, with the black levels. But it just makes, you're using these projectors, you're not using them most of the time in a controlled light environment, right? And so having the LEDs to help boost the overall color saturation, if you need it, makes a huge difference. It makes these projectors look really good in a variety of environments where, ordinarily they wouldn't.
Exactly. The other thing too is this projector is HDR. Not only is it HDR, it actually supports Dolby Vision, which is crazy, So it has Dolby Vision capabilities. And that light source, when you get into HDR, you need the wider color gamut is great. So this thing can do like over 100% of the BT 2020 color space. So super wide color, super bright. Considering how 1800 is pretty darn bright for something you can just pick up by handle and carry it around, and it has Dolby Vision. So question: how was the HDR?
Okay, so it's nice that it has all these HDR formats in it, HDR10, Dolby Vision capability, but in the real world, I didn't feel like the HDR performance lived up to everything they had on paper. I thought when you engaged the HDR modes, Dolby Vision, HDR10, the hit that you took on brightness was just not worth it, right? To get a little bit of detail, and in some cases you didn't even get extra detail. I found that the picture could be brighter, and I could get more dark area detail in SDR.
And that happens. That seems to be the kind of the trend. A lot of times projectors, it's very rare that a projector looks better in HDR than it does in SDR, even though you have all of this other capability, brightness range and color capability in that content. A lot of times trying to tone map for it, you lose a lot of your on-screen brightness. Now, Dolby Vision, it helps that a little bit, but you can only help so much based on the projector's capabilities. The nice thing is, as a user, you can pick between Dolby Vision or HDR10 or standard
SDR.
or SDR in your Apple TV by switching it back and forth, or by making adjustments to that. So you said the HDR was okay, but it wasn't a massive leap. Yeah, but a lot of times when you go to HDR, it goes the opposite direction. So that's good that it does not. Okay.
Yeah, it comes down to, you're right. It comes down to the tone mapping. It's not enough just to put the chip in there that has the feature. Then you have to go in and you have to tune the projector to be able to leverage that capability. And let's be honest, these are portable projectors. They're not investing a ton of money to make sure that, you know, their Dolby Vision experience is a home theater Dolby Vision experience.
Yeah, but it'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So now moving on from that, let's talk a little bit about. You said the color overall was pretty good, though. Just on average, the color was pretty good color reproduction out of the box. Of course, you got all your adjustments because it's got a good Google TV, so you can adjust it if you so choose to.
Nice color management system, yeah.
So all the adjustments, picture modes, all of that stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about the sound. Does it have a decent sound system in it?
It's got, for a portable projector, it's got actually surprisingly good sound. It's got that big chassis, right? So they can put larger speakers. They can dedicate more space to the sound system. And as a result, the 30 watts that they put into it actually creates very immersive sound. Nice boom, a lot of the lower mid bass that will fill up a room. And most impressively, when I cranked up the volume, it didn't distort in any appreciable way, right? A lot of portable projectors, you get above halfway and it's just unusable. But this, I crank up the sound all the way. I could fill up a large space. If I were using it in the backyard, plugged in, everybody would be able to hear the movie and enjoy it. Nice and dynamic.
I've noticed that a lot of times when we do the anchors, they have very good, robust sound systems in them. And actually, I saw a couple at CES, which I'm looking forward to reviewing, that have absolutely outrageous sound systems in it. So they do pride themselves on the sound system. So the other thing too is I'm looking at the specs. It has your keystone correction and your autofocus and all that stuff, but it has like wall color correction, and eye guard. It has every install user-friendly feature you can imagine. Now, by the way, they make another Cosmo that you put into your review. It's like the Cosmo Laser 4K.
Right.
Now, this one is more money. But it uses a traditional laser light source to get even more brightness. And that's the main thing you're paying for. It's got more brightness, more speakers in it, but it's an older Android TV operating system. So it seems like
because it's an older projector.
Yeah. So this one's more modern technology. So overall, now how about gaming? You mentioned that I think you said it has some gaming capabilities as well, right?
Yeah. It's actually got a decent input lag. It's a 19 milliseconds, which is impressive for a portable projector.
Yeah,
I mean, you could really play some Fortnite or Call of Duty, and there was no appreciable lag. I found it quite enjoyable.
Okay, so great for maybe a kid's room. Take it outside and watch movies, and then bring it home. Stick it in your kid's room or barracks or dorm room, and hook up your PlayStation or Xbox and have at it. And guess what? You have all your Netflix and your HBO Maxes and everything else. So overall,
and with that big sound really makes a difference. Yeah.
So overall, it's a very, very, very good projector. Right now,
very compelling option. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, retail price is $12.99. You could check the description below, or of course the review. And if you go to one of the authorized retailers that's listed, it will show you the current price. And this is another one of those projectors that you may be able to find, and often are going to be able to find on promo for less. So check that out. And the other thing too is it has Bluetooth reception and transmission.
Yeah.
So you could use it as a Bluetooth speaker. And you mentioned if you turn on that it's a pretty good sounding sound system. So if you just are around the campsite, just want to play music while you set up, you can use this as a Bluetooth speaker as well, which is actually really cool. So anything else you want to talk about this projector before we move on?
No, I think that's it. I think it about covers it. It's a nice option if you're looking for a portable projector with great color, with really good brightness, and with big sound.
Okay, excellent.
And every other little feature that you want that comes with like Google TV. Convenience feature.
All right. So these are just three. The two Xmings as well as this Nebula are just a few of the portable projectors that we have reviewed over the past year on projectorreviews.com. So we encourage you to go check out our reviews of portable projectors. We even reviewed a couple others like the new Epson EF22s, and we have more coming. In fact, Phil, why don't you show them? You have a little teaser of kind of a cool little one that you're working on right now. So what do you have there?
Right, folks at AXA, and this is a portable ultra short throw projector. I've never had something like this in my hands before. And I don't want to go too much into it because I just got it. But, you know, AXA, they're known for, you know, they make bright looking projectors, right? They put out a lot of light for the size of the unit. So I expect that to be the case with this one.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that was a category that I noticed at CES that was growing was ultra compact, itty bitty portable ultra short throws. So that's an example. LG showed one. Jimgo showed one. You're starting to see more of those. And the funny thing is, I use right now a portable projector that has a gimbal, and I use it to fire up at my ceiling in my bedroom. So when I lay in bed, I can look straight up and I can use the ceiling as a screen. But then I was like, well, you know what? Sometimes I just want to point it at the wall, so I can lay it on the side of my bed, on my side, and look at the wall. But the problem is the throw. If I point it from my nightstand to my wall, the screen is only about, 26 inches. With that little sucker, I can point that at my wall from my nightstand. It'd probably be 60 inches or maybe 70 inches, depending on the throw. So now I'm excited to play with it because I'm like, well, hey, maybe instead of firing it at the ceiling, I could put it on my nightstand and fire it directly at the wall right next to my nightstand, and it would be probably big enough for me to use. So this is just another cool use case that makes people think about ways you can use this guy. And it's a lot easier to put that on a nightstand in a kid's room, or on or utilize it in a small living room, because this will definitely sit on your table in front of that.
So I had it setting on the dresser. I'll have to measure it. I didn't measure it, but it looked like it was about an 85 or a 90 inch image I was getting. And it was just like, I don't know, I'm guesstimating here, maybe 10, 12 inches from the wall.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's, fun. I'm thinking, I'm excited to see that one as well. Yeah. So hopefully you guys have learned a little bit about some of these cool projectors. Next week, or in the coming weeks, we have some more reviews we'd like to talk about, including the Samsung Premier 9, the NZ500, as well as some other ones, which I'm not going to tell you about. So stand by and for those reviews as well. Oh, by the way, as we always say, if you like these videos, please, please, please like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe, because we're trying to grow our audience. Right now, we're at 32,000, which is pretty good. But I'd really, 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 really like to be at 40 or 50 by the summer, because it makes it a lot easier for us to not only get samples, which we could utilize for these reviews and these videos, and it's just nice to know that I can tell my boss, look, we should be doing more of these, because look, people actually like them. So make sure that you like and subscribe. All right, and I think that's it for us today, Phil. Thank you for coming on a Sunday to talk to us about some of the reviews that you have done in the past few months. All right?
Love doing it, and let's do more.
Yep, so take care, everyone, and I will talk to you, and we will talk to you soon.